Hey friends, it's Stephanie from Behind the Designs, and I am coming back on. And I say that because this is my second time trying to film this because my microphone died out. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed this goes as planned. But I am coming in today although it's a Saturday and I'm not doing something creative, I did want to show you just a quick look at how I use my Planner Perfect system to keep me organized now that I have ditched the disc system. So it's a bit of a change, and this is not a perfect system yet. For me, I'm still tweaking things, I'm still learning things, and I could be changing up how my days are structured a little better, but this is what I'm doing so far. So I currently have, nothing is in this book, I'll bring it in a few minutes. I currently use two setups to organize my day. I have a wide, this is a Leiliani wide, and then I just recently changed this over on Instagram. I changed my cover from the matching Leiliani to a narrow willow. So this one's like super soft. And I will be changing this one out because I do kind of like a sort of matchy-matchy look. It's just my preference. So I'm going to show you briefly these two systems, and I'm going to talk about a few other things. For now, I'm going to set aside the narrow, because in order to understand the narrow, I kind of have to show you a little bit of this one. Okay. I'm going to dive right in too, because maybe this was my sign to do this video shorter, because the last one was kind of long. So I'm taking that as a hint. So here we go. On the inside of this is my business planner. And I say business because it's all things content, projects, creative, that type of stuff. And so I open it up. I have inside here, I've got some papers that I still need to filter from my disc system into one of these books. And I just haven't done that yet. And then I have this lovely journal card. And on the back, I just keep some current hashtags for the system so that I'm making sure I tag everything in so you can find it. Some journal cards. I have 3 books. I have 4 books, 3 of which are calendars. So they're all 3 of these are 12-month calendars. They all serve a different purpose, and they all allow me to pre-plan future content. So one of the issues I was having is as I created a Franken planner in my disc system, you could only get so big unless you wanted it to be on expanders. Then you're talking more weight. So this kind of is a perfect, I guess, marriage between the two. Let me just say that. Okay, so just briefly, here is my YouTube book. This was originally in the beginning my everything calendar. So it kind of has more than just YouTube on it for the first, well, at least through this month, I'll say. I've marked a few pages I can show you. So this is my calendar that's already passed. This information was copied over from my disc system. And the reason I did that was because when I look at past history or data, I want to go to one location. I don't want to have to go here for some months, that for the other months. To me, that doesn't make any sense. So I've recopied the information from the disc system into these books as it relates to the information. So here's a look at my calendar, and what I do in here is I'm marking when I've done a video. And again, these are post-it notes until they go in, and then I write them in. Unless I use my, which I don't have handy here, my friction pen. I put some goals down the side, which this column changes with each month depending on what I need it for. Then we go into, for January, my first 2 blank pages are my goals. Luckily, I wrote these, I believe, in friction, so I can erase the ones that are no longer relevant. After that is just some more blank pages that I am working on filling in. So here's again a more filled in area. I've got ideas, I've decorated them. video ideas, which as you can see, March wise, I didn't really fill in. Only because, again, I'm copying over some of the data and I haven't copied it in its entirety yet. So not everything is in these books. So some of the pages aren't done. And then as months went on and I was writing the information, translating it from disc to traveler's notebooks, I had to decide, was it information I wanted or needed to carry over? And then also, how was I going to structure the pages? So with the annual calendar, you get, let me find, let's see, a blank one. So here's an empty calendar, and it's structured like this through all the books. You have your notes section, use it for whatever you want. After, in the 12-month calendar book, after every month, you get 4 blank pages, and then you start the next month. So you can make these pages whatever you want. You can get them blank, dot line, or dot grid lined, and I think there was another option, maybe. So you can make them whatever you want. I keep them blank because I like to decorate, however I want. Watercolor, markers, stickers, washi, whatever. And with the first 5 months of this year, as I was transposing the information from disc to here, it changed. Those pages changed. So it's not always the same every month. This here is my blog calendar. I keep calling it a book, but I'm going to say calendar if I can remember. So this is my blog calendar. And again, same thing. I've plugged in the past the things that have already posted. For future dates, I will put, again, I'll use friction in these calendars. I use friction because I want to be able to erase something if it doesn't happen or if I have to change the day. So again, and that's probably all I'll show you in this book because again, a lot of it is content and these calendars have information that, I haven't done yet. This book I can't show you. It is exactly the same as these. It's a 12-month calendar, the 4 blank pages in between every month. And the reason I can't show you this is because up until recently, I didn't even know what I was going to do with it. I wanted to make sure I included for all of my social media content, projects, everything. So now that I kind of have a better feel, I know what's going in here. Same concept. I will plot out when things need to be done when. I have my blank pages to work with. This one's not set up. I'll show you a peek once I get it in motion and I've closed out a month, and then I'll show you. So 3 calendars, and then I have a project book. This project book I haven't used yet. I did order a new one because they're coming structured as project pages. So this here is just a blank notebook. I've, done various things in it. But I've got one that has more structure to it so that I can really hone in and pull out all of the data and crafts and projects and all those things that I need to get done to fill in these books so that I can get them out properly at a reasonable time. I'm always missing, events and holidays and so forth because there's just so much content for one person. So I took this hint of a setup from Jenny herself. This was one of her setups where she created, I don't know how many she had. She either had 3 or 4 12-month calendar books that she put something into each. And then she took that information and put it into her daily planner. So this is kind of my daily planner. This is a narrow. And the reason I preferred narrow is because I like when it is easy to carry and easy to put in my purse. Okay, so I'm just checking my calendar, my microphone every now and then, make sure it's still running. Okay, so I carry the narrow just because of ease. It just makes it so much easier to tuck in my purse, tuck in my tote, whatever I'm carrying. I have in here, just the May card. I have some dot stickers. I do like to use dot stickers, some journal cards. I have the monthly plan book, the journal, and then just 2 days ago, I added in this extra journal I had, which is going to become my notes journal. So it's basically going to be on the ideas of a brain dump, but also it's going to contain commonplace information. So things that I want to go back to and reference. Now, this is one I had already on hand, so it is just blank. I think if I were to order it specifically, I would get lined, but it's blank. It's what I've got on hand, and it's what I'm going to use. So once I get the data plotted out in each of the calendars in here, I then come to my month and I pop it into here. So, this includes YouTube, it includes personal dates, blog stuff, newsletter, when am I sending it? And it's not the detail of it. It's just saying on this day, you have a YouTube you want to do. And so I go here and I can look at my YouTube calendar, find out what it is, do the video, and then I just come in here and check it off. That's it. In this book, which I do get the monthly kit, so I will get one of these monthly. I do like to keep a swatch of the washi tape that comes in the kit, and then just some of the Tombow colors and mild liners and so forth that I use, so that as I'm working in it, I can pull out that pen that I've used a little more easily. So from here, this is like the guiding calendar. Then I go into some creative goals, work goals, shop releases, garden goals, personal goals, day trips. And then from there, it goes into your weeks. Now, let me say this about the monthly plan books. In this book, you get a month layout, you get a week, and then, so there'd be what, 6, 7, or no, that's wrong. You get 2 pages per day, Monday through Friday, and then your weekend is 1 page Saturday, 1 page Sunday. That's how this book is structured. So it allows you to create dailies. So you're covering your month, you're covering weeklies if you happen to be someone who likes weeklies, and then you're also covering dailies. So it really just kind of helps me to funnel down what is all in here. So at a quick glance, here is my calendar. You can see I had videos on these days. I did write them in Friction, but I did not erase them. I crossed them off to show that just didn't happen for whatever reason. I think at that point I had decided that I was no longer going to use Happy Planner. And it kind of got to that point. I was at the point of, do I want to keep maintaining both systems, or do I think I know what I'm going to do now? And I decided to draw a line in the sand. I knew what I was going to do. These were working, so I went with this system, and I'm loving it. Okay, so there's your weeks. And then this is just a glimpse into, now let me preface this with this page I'm showing you is not scripting. When I started this, I was kind of trying to still work with scripting, understand scripting, So in order to get done what I needed to get done, I just started in with what I knew, which is a checklist. So the way I'm typically working it is this top part is my my urgent to do. It is, time sensitive. That's the word I'm looking for. They're time sensitive tasks, appointments, videos, things of that nature go in that top area. Then again, on this page, I did the checklist. That's going to eventually go away. I'm going to show you how I do scripting. And then this page over here is kind of just like a work journal. So I don't journal in this book in the sense of journaling. What I'm journaling in here on this second page is my day. How did my day go? What worked well? What didn't? What did I accomplish? That type of thing. So that's all I'm purely doing. In this one here, I did, kind of like a word of the day. I felt I was productive, so I kind of did a little lettering. I'm working on my script again, having got away from, fountain pens and the journals, my handwriting is not where I like it to be, so I'm working on that. As you can see, I made a comment about it being messy and gave myself a little face. Did some lining here. So that's how I started working in the plan book. I do have a few days that I've scripted a bit, but I'm still working on that, and I will be coming out with a video on that. But I want to work on it a little bit more. So right now, that's how I did the beginning of the book. And do I have one I can show you? Let me see. I want to show you. Oops. I want to show you. Okay. So here is a day. In the beginning, you can see it's the second day in. Second day in, and I had my kitten time. Blank page. There's a number of these in here, and it just is what it is, and I'm not going to worry about that. I know where I was in terms of planning. I know what I want to do, that kind of thing. So I am not going to fret about those blank pages. They are just but a blip in time. And then there's a journal. And then, as I mentioned, this is going to be kind of like a notes journal. So that is everything in my narrow. And as I said, I changed the cover over. I just wanted to go a little bit more green, I guess, for the season. So let me give you one of the reasons I love this system. And I'll be sure to pop up a code for you on the screen to use so that, you know, it's a one-time use. So you can use it to pop on over to the site, pick up what you'd like, because why not, right? All right, so in here, as you know, this is my garden planner, journal, whatever you want to call it. I have some journal cards. I have 2 books that was the initial setup. This is my garden plans. This is memory keeping, any garden friends that visit, butterflies. I like to keep track of like butterflies and things like that. I did add this in because I found it in my stash. And this year, I think I'm going to keep track of, in this system, my vegetable garden. So when we get our plants, which I think will be this weekend, they will be going in here. You know, they'll all be tracked, harvest, so forth, everything in here. But here's why I love this system. Let me take this out. So, you know, here's my garden journal. Do I carry it everywhere? No. But here's my regular day-to-day. I'm going to give you a scenario. I'm going to go over to my friend's house for lunch, and we both like to garden, so we are going to talk gardens. So I want to show her my recent pages, maybe jot some notes down about plants she has in her garden. So rather than carry this and the garden planner, all I have to do is simply slip this book into my planner. So for example, I may not take my journal over there, but all I got to do is slip it into my carry-all, my everyday carry daily planner, and I'm good to go. So this is my my garden journal. I'll give you a quick view of a few pages. So I have a postcard here. I'm going to letter in that this is my 2025 garden journal or planner. It's going to be a planner because I'm going to start planning beds out. That's my thought in this. And then here is my butterfly garden page. I taped in a garden plan that we used many, many, many years ago, and it bloomed beautifully. So I wanted to keep it because we need to refresh that garden. And then over here, all I did was I made a fun page listing out the flowers that draw in butterflies. So that is my system as a whole. I'm going to take this out, put this back together because I'm going to do something here. Okay, so here is my daily planner, as you know. So I'm just going to kind of tuck this off over here. And I think because this is my business planner, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to be swapping out the insides of here so that I can put my business planner in there. And then these books will go into another planner, which I have off to the side here. The new garden cover will be this. This is Jade. Let me get these set up. So this is Jade Narrow, Olivia Wide, Willow Narrow, Leilani Wide. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the things out of here, put it into here, so that I can use this cover for my business, and then I'm going to have kind of like a green thing going on, right? The only thing I did miss out on was the green pen case, and I'm so sad about that. I hope she brings it back. I'm going to tuck these off to the side. Last thing I just want to show you is I'm not here to do the cover changeovers for this. I'm wanting to show you my setup, but I wanted to show this book to you because this is the journal that came in the January sub box. I did get the January box, and if you look at my lineup, I did have a wide and a narrow in the lineup, but after I think a month I dropped it, you know, went with the disc system. Now I've flip-flopped, I've gone back here, ditched discs. But this was the journal, and I was thinking in here, it's a blank journal, and I'm thinking I'm going to use this as a goals book because it, you know how I am with the year on the planner. I don't know why. I just like it. So with the year already being there, I thought this was a good opportunity for me to use the journal. In it, do my goals, and then we're going to do those together on a video. But I just wanted to introduce this and show you because I don't know, I saw it and it just kind of fit this whole green thing going on. So there is, in a nutshell, how I'm using the Planner Perfect system and books in my current setup. It's evolving. More scripting will come into play in my daily planner. This will not so much be scripting as much as it will be get the task done. Like, here's what you're going to do and when you're going to do it. So that is it in a nutshell. And I hope it's kind of given you an idea of how I set things up. Maybe something will work for you in how, you know, what you see. And then, you know, you can adapt however you need to. That's the beauty. And that's why I think I went with this system. It's simple, it's direct, but it's customizable and flexible is just as much. So again, your inside books you can order as lined, dot, grid. I think grid is the other option, or blank. And then there's a multitude of cover changes you can make. I have a collection. I told you I will share that with you again in another video. But that it is, in the nutshell, what I do and how I do it. So I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if you like this video, I do hope you hit that like button. And if you want to see more of my videos, just hit that subscribe button as well as bell icon. And that is it for today.